Welcome to another edition and welcome to Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. The show was created from the more than 300 original quotes I had created for the contents of my book. I was always curious when I talked to Larnez, when I talked to Anne Marie and Otis, if these words were just words that laid there on a page, or were there a conversation to be had? So we all got together and said, look, hey, let's get together to talk about this. So we meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what we basically do, we toss the quote out there as an open-ended question based on our interpretation and perspectives. Hey, we see how the quote lands on us. This show is brought to you by RMK Productions and the 10 United Podcast Network. Our mission is very simple. Through the power of your voice, we want to uplift and inspire you to share experiences, perspectives, creating a framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is very simple. It's hope. And I'm your co-host, Kevin McLemore. I'm also joined with the co-host of Larnez Kinsey and also my co-host, Anne Marie Maloney. And believe it or not, let's sit back. You've not heard the sound of this in the morning. You know, when they said that's the sound of a train working on a train gang or whatever, the voice of Otis Spencer, he is the voice of our show. Ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea how the sound of music sounds when Otis announces the intro. So, Otis, with that said, will you go ahead and share today's quote with us? And we're going to lead off with Anne Marie today.
Great. Grand rising, everyone. And our quote is, "We are not pincushions. We are not punching bags. We are not puppets. We are not pets. We are not pawns. We are people. We are people. We are people."
All right, that was brought to us by Miles Morales. And oh boy, that says a lot. If you're listening, that says a lot. And hopefully you hear. So, Anne Marie, how does this quote land on you?
Oh my goodness. Well, it speaks to my heart, and I think about what we are experiencing in the country, what is going on in our world, and can we say United States of America with a straight face? We will find out. But we have a a history of being manipulated. We being people of color, Black and brown people, we have a history of being pushed and being used. I think of, just breaking down the words. Okay, I can poke you because I can. I can harm you because I can. I can keep you out of work, out of a job because I can. I can knock you down or demote you because I can. Um, Puppets in the sense that, I'm going to stand you up. I think, when Herschel Walker, for example, was running in the state of Georgia, figureheads and being manipulated by others behind the scene. So we are often in roles where we are pushed, prodded. And this quote lands on me. It ends in a taking a stand, a call to action. We are people. We are people. We are courageous. We bleed like everybody else. We are proud. We are a people that has a history, that has a culture. We are people that want the same things as anybody else wants. And we are not here to proclaim that we are better than or we are least. We are here to proclaim that as our humanity, as a child of God, that we bring with us our own identity, our own essence, our own God-given spirits. And we look at our life and we just want to live our lives, we just want to live our lives. And so we need to declare to the world that, okay, who you talking to? We are people, we are human. And that's not to say that we are perfect either, because we are often held up to this standard. The expression is, you have to be twice as good. What's the rest of it? Somebody help me out.
Well,
Yeah,
I know for me, when I was
yeah,
growing up, my grandfather said, in order to be equal, and I'm going to
yes,
say it just the way he said it, I'm not going to censor myself. He says, in order to be equal to any white person, you had to be 3 times as good. And the
yes.
way it translated to me is we are the people. I said, I'm going, because I'm going to be competing with the rest of the world, not just them. I'm going to be 10 times better because there will be no excuses.
There will be no excuses. So it's almost like, it's not, let me take out the word almost. We are carrying the oppression that people have put on us. And that speaks to the first half of the quote again, in terms of pincushions and pawns, because we have to do twice as much to be valued and to be deemed worthy. And the last statement of this quote is saying, my God, we are people, and it's about time that we stand in it. That we stand in it, and let go those limiting beliefs that tells us we have to prove anything to somebody else. We don't have to prove anything. We are alive, we are breathing, and just as we have breath, we have the right to be here. That's my
Yeah.
take on the quote.
And I hopefully the people are paying attention and acknowledging what you said, that we are people. And I hope that people understand when you talk about we as people, you have to look in the mirror and look at your own truth. There's no other race that is giving more to this country in the words of freedom and acknowledging that we are people and not property, something to be bought and sold on an auction block, than any Black person on this world, on this earth. When you talk about this America and we,
Mhm.
the people, we're the only people that had to fight for our freedom. We're the
Mhm.
only people that today are still fighting for our independence and our freedom. We're the only, and I'll say that we are the people. We are the people.
And Kevin, if I can add to that, if I would, because when I think of white people who are our dear friends, for example, and our loved ones, right? Um, this is not an anti-statement. This is not a statement against other people, because we love you, and we know that there are people in our lives that we have love for, that we care for, and we appreciate. So, but there's a weight on us as a culture to always be apologetic, almost like if I'm going to stand in who I am, I have to apologize for your discomfort. That is something, that why do we have to carry that? Why can't it be just, I'm standing in the comfort of who I am, and that's not a threat to you. That's just who I am. That's just my identity. So I'm off my soapbox now.
That's okay. We, the people, or we are people, living this life, we are actually building a plane while flying, and destination unknown, but we know we've got someplace to go. We know we have someplace to be, and we know that we have a conversation once we get there that needs to be heard. So I appreciate you acknowledging that we are people. All right. And it's not a division of people, because we are all one and the same. 97.6 is the same no matter what skin color. I can almost guarantee if you peel back the layers of all of our heritage, there's a little bit of me and you, and a little bit of you and me, and a little bit of people that don't look like me. There's a little bit of me and you too. All right. So with that said, I want to thank you for your share, and hopefully your share hit the hearts and soul of someone that is open to learning, being educated, and someone that's in a place that they want to make a difference, that they want to unite all of our people in order to make this country a better place. Being separate doesn't make you better. Being separate just puts you alone.
Yes.
So, with that said, we have so many people that's on here, and I love my Sunday motivational people, my brothers, my sisters, my family. We don't have to come out the same womb, but we delivered in the same space. So, Brother Naheem Garcia, my other co-host, this quote, I'm going to ask Otis to deliver it one more time and give you a little time to think about it. Otis with the quote again.
We are not pincushions. We are not punching bags. We are not puppets. We are not pets. We are not pawns. We are people. We are people. We are people.
Well, brought to us by Miles Morales. Naheem, how you doing, brother?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all right. Slept a little heavy because I'm not a pincushion. So as a human being, I got to rest. I don't carry bags unless it's the bags I'm bringing into my house for dinner. And we are people. Life is important. And we as people are important. And I think we dismiss who we are and what we are and why we are, and put ourselves in these little boxes that make us think that we are somebody's robot, somebody's servant. That quote, the only thing I get out of that quote is that slavery is over and the slave mentality is over. And it's hard to be over because after 400 years of that kind of oppression, there's in our DNA, it's in our DNA to be servants, to be these people that provide. And we're always apologetic. Like this is said, we're always apologizing about somebody else's uncomfort. But why do we have to carry that cross? Somebody already did that for us. It's not our job. Our job is to stand up. Our job is to lift up. And our job is to embrace. And it is important for us to embrace, love, and respect each other from all walks of life. That's the beautiful part about being an actor. We get to put ourselves in other people's shoes to understand what they're going through, even if it's the oppressor. Because the oppressor, it might be the oppressor, but the oppressor is also a servant because he serves his oppression and he can never get out of that. I feel bad for the people that feel that. I feel bad for the slave master. I'm going to tell you why. Because the slave master will always be a slave master, will never know what it is to be the joy of being a human being and loving and respecting somebody. They're always going to feel the need to be served. And when they don't get served, they feel dismissed. So when they feel dismissed, they want to kill, they want to destroy, they want to hurt. So we as people think that we are entitled because we've been through the slavery or we've been through oppression or we've been through this or we've been through that. And the reality of life is that the world is entitled. And when the world is not receiving that entitlement, the world is divided and destroyed. That's why the world is the way it is. At any given time, even us who've been oppressed continue to oppress others. If you're from Cuba, you're looking down at somebody from another country. If you're a Black American, you're looking down at everybody because you've been oppressed and you feel you're entitled to have that attitude about looking down and look at what our people been through. But when do you as an individual change your mindset? When do you find your spirit? Like my sister Larnez tell me, when's your frequency gonna go up? I think I tried to say just like her, go up with that mouth when she does that, go up. Because the reality of life is sometimes our frequency is so low and we're so low about ourselves that we look at others and it's even lower. So it starts with understanding and knowing who you are as an individual and what your values are in the world. Kevin and I talk about this all the time. He's constantly sending me something every morning to remind me about my value. So I think when we look at this quote, we got to remember what our value is as a human being. And our value is as we exist in this world, how important it is for us to know that our value counts and that we need to make sure it counts for others when we value other people. Sometimes we don't value other people. You just take people and things for granted. Hell, I've been in this country 56 years. This country, not this world, this country. And when I came to this country, thinking that racism was a Black and white American thing, not realizing that it was global, not realizing how much of a hand my people, Spanish people had in slavery, and how much pain we caused historically, what we have done, and to think that I wasn't a part of the problem or the solution, to think that this was just something outside of me and my people because I spoke a different language. And the reality of life is my language was tricked up right along with everybody else's. I was tricked up into thinking that because I was from another country, that I wasn't subject to the oppression and the pain, not realizing that the history of the oppression and pain came from my own backyard. I think that was the biggest hurt when I realized the racism that was happening with our own people, my own people. And because we didn't know how, because I spoke a different language, I thought differently and thought that this wasn't my problem, but it was more my problem than anything else because it was in my backyard. It was in my backyard all along. And I didn't know it. So I was tricked up. So therefore, when I found myself being a pin pusher, when I found myself being that cushion, when I found myself being that bag carrier, when I found myself realizing that all that stuff that I was carrying and all that pin pushing I was doing was my own. Was my own, because we do it to ourselves. They said they trick them. He said, we don't got to trick them no more. They do it to themselves. I mean, just look at what's going on with our politics. Let's just look and go on what's going on with our politics and the way we think about our politics. The fact that I find anybody that looks like any of us supporting the future 47 and that mindset. Like, what is going on? It's in their DNA, to the point where they tricked themselves to make them think that they wasn't even a part of it, that they're somewhere else, like they're above. And no, you're pushing the pen, brother. You're pushing the pen. When you start to subject yourself to the pain or to the oppression, and thinking that the oppression is the Kool-Aid that you need to be drinking, thinking that the oppression's all right. I ain't oppressed. I ain't impressed. Give me them shackles, please. This is my new jewelry. Come on. Come on. I'm all right. Life is good. I'm in America. Leave America and find out how valuable you really are. That's when the real deal starts. That's when you look in the mirror and you find out that you've been tricked and you've been tricking yourself.
It amazes me. If we were on the stage of the Apollo Theater, opening act, Anne-Marie Maloney came in, sister dropped the mic. Naeem Garcia came in. Now, let me say this. My grandfather always said, and I'm putting this out there because I want people to know, because chances are I'm going to take each one of these and create an independent reel, because every child, no matter what skin color you are, should have this individual conversation as part of their daily post so they understand what the power of these words mean. My grandfather always said education was not designed to make you comfortable, but it's designed to make you think. And Naeem, I know there's only one other person when they come on stage at the Apollo that can pick up the mic after the two of you guys have dropped it, and someone that can carry this load. All right. Other than the voice of this show. All right. You're talking about the first shot to be shot over the bow. Duck America, because here it comes. Barnez Kinsey. Thank you.
Grand Rising. I have missed everyone in these discussions. So, off the top of my head, because I only got this quote this morning.
Wait a minute. Hold tight. Motivational Sundays, please turn up your volume. Turn up your volume. Here it comes. All right.
To me, this means we're not here to be used, mistreated, controlled, or manipulated. We have our own worth, power, and purpose, and it's crucial to recognize and embrace that. Now, to make our dreams real, we have to speak what we seek until we see what we say. This is the energy exchange. We have to tap into and harness the 6 key characteristics of our subconscious mind. And many people don't know what they are, so I'm going to educate you this morning. The first one is your will. This is your focus and determination. Think of it like setting a goal and sticking to it no matter what distraction comes your way. Your second is your imagination. This is your vision of the life you desire. It's the pictures you paint in your mind about your future. The more vivid and detailed, the better. The third is your perception. This is how you see the world. It's your perspective, and it can change when you get new information. It's like wearing different glasses to see different things in different lights. The fourth is your reasoning, and this is your discernment lens. This is your ability to accept and reject ideas. It's your inner filter. You decide what makes sense to you and what doesn't based on your beliefs and your experiences. The fifth is your intuition. This is your gut feeling. It's your inner voice that tells you something is wrong or right. This is when things go bump in the night and it gives you goosebumps. Like when you walk into a room and you instantly feel the vibe, good or bad. And the sixth one is your memory. This is your ability to recall past experiences and learn from them. You can take your past experiences and they can guide you and help you to avoid making the same mistake over and over and over again. It helps you reinforce your positive actions. By speaking what you seek with these characteristics in mind, you align your thoughts and actions with your goals. This alignment in your energy, creating the reality you desire. Remember, you are not a pincushion, a punching bag, a puppet, pet, or pawn. You are powerful. You are a powerful person with the ability to shape your own destiny. So use your will, your imagination, your perception, your reasoning, your intuition, and your memory to speak your dreams into existence and watch them manifest. You got this. And that's how this hit me.
And drop the mic again. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, we just took TED Talk to another level. This is TED Talk X, the Block TED Talk. Wow, that I'm speechless. The power of your words, the power of all of your words.
Mhm.
All right, it just lightened the load a little bit. It's still heavy, but it just lightened the load a little bit, and it allowed me to put my right foot in front of the left and continue to carry the load because someone's dragging their feet on their own dream. Someone is being misguided out there. Someone is being misinformed up there, and someone is afraid of their own truth. And I'm so glad you guys have spoken into existence, into this universe, into this energy, the truth. And so with that said, we're going to deliver the quote one more time. And we're going to allow the voice of our show to exercise his conscious thoughts on how this quote lands on him. Otis Spencer, go on and do your thing, brother.
We are not pincushions. We are not punching bags. We are not puppets. We are not pets. We are not pawns. We are people. We are people. We are people.
Miles Morales.
What came to my mind is we as people in general, we don't respect one another. We're willing to fight one another. We're willing to kill one another. That shouldn't happen. Respect is important. And sometimes we are guinea pigs. What are the scientists out there doing? We're getting stuck with needles. We're getting pushed pills to try their experiments, and we are the guinea pigs. In war, aren't we the pawns? We have to go into war and fight for something that we may not even agree with. When you're at work, your boss has you by the strings, whether you're going to keep your job or not keep your job. You need to get an education, learn as much as you can so that you can take control over your own life.
If this had been a rock concert, it would have sold out for the next 3 weeks. Deliver, hand claps.
Yes.
You know, again, every single week I say that I struggle with the fact that I've got to follow the voices of such great people. You know, Anne Marie, she's an educator over there making a difference. Last week, she brought on a young talent of a young man in 8th grade that spoke words far beyond his years. You know, I sit here and I converse with my family, my brother from another mother. And by the way, Naheem hurt my feelings calling me your cousin the other day in a text. I'm never going to forget that.
That's a Boston thing, cuz. Get with it. Get with it.
but anyway, speaking the truth and speaking from one's heart, I've always said if you can change or you can reach someone's heart, the chance of you changing how they think and how they see the world is in your favor. And when you hear the voice of a mother talking about in existence and talking about this universe and how we're comfortable and how we understand or don't understand the history of just the phrase good morning, and realize the conversation of good morning is a conversation that was a celebration of one individual, a slave master, celebrating the fact that he had destroyed a life, a family, a legacy, the future, or even the day of someone that had hope. And because of that, he said, good morning. All right. And then we celebrate the fact that the value of an education, the value of experiences, and the value of the power of our voice. So when I listen to this after Otis, you know, it's hard for me to follow. So I won't even try to follow this, but I will say, you know, this is what I do during the course of the day. I understand the power of people's words, and I'm amazed at the power of these words. We are. These words tell the beauty of our own truth. These words sometimes displays the artist within all of us. However, when we add the word not to we are, these words become a voice of a conversation that needs to be had, becomes a validation of the voices that needs to be heard. A warning shot over the bow, announcing the storm is coming. A conversation that we sometimes, as people, should not and cannot overlook. We are is the connection to this life, a tie to our past, a roadmap to what our future could be or should be. We are not as something that we cannot toy with. We cannot cast aside or dismiss or forget, because we are people. We are loving people, as Naheem said it. We are good people, as Larnez has said it. And the first shot that we fire over the bow, heed our warning, because the next shot will be the confirmation of just who we are.
Hi, my name is Naheem Garcia, and I am a teaching artist. And I will be working with Kevin and friends to do a workshop teaching acting. If you're interested and you want to be a part of that class, please reach out to Kevin McLemore at, what is it, Kevin? Kevin and Friends.
RMK Productions, on our YouTube page, RMK Productions and Network on YouTube page, our info at rmkproductions.org. The first class is just a workshop. It's an intro to acting. Naheem is a working actor. Gets film credits. It runs the whole gamut. And basically, we're going to allow people from all over the world to get a first-class education. This is an intro. There will be a course that will follow that will be paid, but the first one is free. We'd like to have you welcome and get a chance to meet a movie star in real life. And he just happens to be my friend. He hates me saying that, but go to info at rmkproductions.org and register if you're interested. Thank you.
The only way this is going to work, folks, is if you respond to Kevin and let him know. We need a maximum of at least 12 people. That's just a max. I mean, that's the minus. The max is it could go up to 100. But I'd like to know how many people will be interested in this workshop. So we look forward to hearing from you. Until then, peace.
And peace. And we are limited to a maximum of 100 for the free workshop. And we will cut the class size down based on the response. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you for joining us for another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. We meet every every Sunday at 9 a.m. And we pass out a quote. Sometimes, we have a good time. Sometimes we get an education because of the quote and where it came from. We invite you to join us. And if you like what you've heard, go to RMK Productions and Network on our YouTube page. And I suggest this is one of the many videos we have that I suggest that you share. I suggest that you do more than like, that you write your own comments, that to let us know how you feel about who we are or how you feel. And I want honest opinions of who we are not, no matter where you come from, no matter what your skin color is. This conversation needs to be had by all of us. At some point, when we realize that we are better together than apart, then we'll start to value humanity as one. And that's when we become who we really are, when we become one. With that said, my grandfather always said, when you get to a point that you can help someone else out in life, he said, reach one, teach one. And with that said, we'll do what, Naeem?
Fade to black.
And we're out.